October got that spooky vibe season, you know? What was I thinking? I might be a decade late. Your girl is unemployed right now. A filthy rich vampire, sign me up, is a staple in a lot of millennials' pantry. I have no money, all right? Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first official book haul video of this channel. Now, I have had, the lighting is going to change and it's gonna be rough for this video because the cloud just passed over my house and you can clearly see the lighting drop. I cannot wait to edit this portion of the video. Okay, yeah, no, sorry. I don't know why I do this. All right, welcome to the first ever official book haul video on my channel. Now, I have done book hauls in the past. Previously, I included my book hauls as part of my reading vlog, but I'm looking at the stack over here and it's looking quite hefty. I decided I'm going to separate it out from my reading vlog and make it its own video. And so we have our very first book haul video, and 99%, aka all the books except for one, are all purchased at a secondhand bookstore and or from a library book sale. So I'm really excited about that because that meant that I saved money, girl math, a little bit of girl math gymnastics. Yes, I spent money to purchase these books, but hey, I am saving money because technically I got it at a discount. Okay, don't call me out on it. All right, thank you. Now let's just get right into the video with the very first book that I purchased, and it is The Seventh Loop Villainess, a very familiar series on my channel. This is novel number 6, and I don't know how many novels there are going to be, but this is one of the series that really got me back into reading, and that's why I've been pre-ordering the books as a way to help the author and let them know that, hey, there are people interested in this. And moving forward, I think I will only purchase book at full price when I pre-order books. Otherwise, I'm going to try to get it through my local library or a secondhand bookstore. Why, you might ask? Because technically, your girl is unemployed right now. I quit my job back in September. So September 30th was my last day officially. So I'm unemployed. I have no money, all right? Okay, that's a lie. I have savings saved up. I'm just taking the time to reflect on what I want to do in my career and where I want to go moving forward. So I did quit my job and I am unemployed. So I'm keeping my hobby expensive down low with the use of the library and the secondhand bookstore. Now, that does not mean I'm going to stop supporting the authors that I really love and enjoy, because pre-ordering books is one of the best ways to support them. So the only books I will be purchasing at full price will be pre-orders starting from this moment on. Post-editing Mimi is just a meme at this point, because tell me why. This is the third video in the most recent time that I had to show my face because I've forgotten about something. And what I've forgotten about is this gorgeous pre-order that I purchased of Father, I Don't Want This Marriage. Now, if you've heard from my Riz tag video, this book right here, there is one father in this that I want to riz up so hard. I had to get him in hardcover copy because this is the only way I could physically have him, all right? And somehow I managed to forgot about the book, so that's a little bit embarrassing on my part. But this I purchased and I pre-ordered a while back, and then it's officially licensed and published in physical format in the US finally, and I'm so happy. But listen to me, this gorgeous of a man right here, that right there is a DILF.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, degenerate Mimi is over, and then let's get back into the video. Now, it's kind of funny that I'm unemployed, but then the first video I make officially after I'm unemployed is a haul video, but it is what it is. Let's get on to the books that I have purchased in the past month or so. Now, this video will have 3 sections. The first section is going to be books that I want to read, and I actually found at my parents' place. So as a child, I did read a little bit, and when I went to visit them, I found some books that I was like, hey, maybe I should pick it up and read it for a video, like reading my childhood books and seeing what my reactions and my thoughts on it are. And then the second portion is going to be books that I purchased from the library book sale, and then the last section is going to be books that I purchased at a secondhand bookstore. All right, these books I have not spent a single dime on. All right, they are books that I found in the junk drawers of my parents' house, aka all of my memories and all the books that I read in childhood. These were the ones that stood out to me, so I'm picking them up. It's this nice little stack here. So the very first book in the memory trove is actually Twilight, and this edition is personalized to me by my friends from middle school. That's why it has the white cover in it, so that she can write all over it, and she actually wrote a lot of things across the whole page. This was dated in 2008. Yeah, this copy I had was from 2008. My friend gave it to me as a late birthday slash early Christmas present. I was obsessed with Twilight as a kid, okay? And they knew this. I got the books from the library, I believe, and I never had a physical copy of the books. So they purchased it for me, added the cover, which if you lived in the US, or I don't really know who else does this, but when I was in middle school and high school, we had to cover our textbook to keep it from being damaged. And you just get like paper wrapping from like Trader Joe's or something like that, and you would cover the book with the grocery bags that they would give you. And she just did the same thing with the book here. She left a lot of notes and all that good stuff. So I cannot wait to reread Twilight. I know that Ashley Beck's Read is doing her reread of Twilight, so I might have to join you on that, Ashley. So the next book I have from my treasure chest is The Girl, the Dragon, and the Wild Magic. This is honestly pretty old, and it looks like it's a book for elementary students. So if I had this, it's probably one of the first books that I learned to read in English. So I'm really excited to reread this and see what it's about. Like even now, I think when I read it, I will have a really good idea of what the book is, just because when I read the synopsis in the back, I have like a vague idea and a vague memory of reading it. So I can't wait to see that. Of course, with all of my books as a child, they all come with their own little bookmark. So let me see if I could find it in this one. I found it. The bookmark for The Girl, the Dragon, and the Wild Magic is Captor Sakura. So Captor Sakura, I believe, is one of the OG anime slash manga that I read as a child. So it's definitely a blast from the past to see this little card inside this little book as a bookmark. So I am really excited to reread this. Honestly, it should take me like 30 minutes or so to finish this. It's not a very thick book. It's only about 115 pages. So I'm excited to read this as part of the rereading my childhood books. All right, now the next book is a staple in a lot of millennials' library collection, and it is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I have to be honest with you guys, I think I only read the first book, and I did not get to, by the time the books got really thick, I did not read it. I think I only read up to book 2 or 3, but I'm really excited to reread Harry Potter. I wonder if it holds up to the test of time. I know that the Percy Jackson series did really well, and with the Harry Potter series, I would love to revisit it and see what I missed and what is the difference between this and the movies. Also, similar to Chelsea, we were talking about this in her comment section. I really don't know why, but Harry Potter is a fall book, all right? Harry Potter the movies, Harry Potter the series, the books. I don't know why, but I just relate anything fantasy and magic related and Harry Potter to be a fall vibe thing. I don't know why. Let me know in the comment section if you guys feel the same way. But this is going to be a really good pick coming for October, November, and December. Yes, I said all of those things, and for some people, December might feel like winter. Not in California. Not in California. So I can't wait to get reading Harry Potter this fall. So the next book has a special place in my heart, and it is The Liar, the King, and the Libertine. The reason why I own this book is because one of my high school teacher is actually one of the 3 authors for this collection of short stories and poems. Now, I purchased this in high school, and the only distinctive memory I have of this is a bunch of kids giggling because we were like 14, 15 at the time, and we read it, and there were, explicit words. It's so childish, but so funny to think back on, where we were like, oh my god, Miss Dubé, you can't tell us to read this book if there's explicit content. We're only 15 and 16. That's definitely a core memory for me at this point. But I wonder now, as an adult rereading this, I wonder what I would think about it, and maybe I'll reconnect with my English teacher. She has a special place in my heart because she really helped me improve my grammar, my writing, my reading skills so much. And she's part of the reason why I'm here today talking about books and reading, because she story was absolutely awesome, and I cannot wait to reread this for sure. This is definitely going to be a high priority for 2025. I would say for the end of 2024, but I'm not trying to create a realistic TBR of any sorts since I am a little bit burnt out from just everything in life right now. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I have not been reading much in October because October is my month. I'm taking it slow, I'm doing things my way, and I'm having a good time. Now, the last book from the treasure troves of my parents' house is Unknown Worlds: Tale from Beyonds, and it's a collection of short fantasy sci-fi stories. I don't remember anything about it. Apparently, I made it a good progress of the way in. Okay, maybe good progress isn't the best way to say because this book is really thick, but I made it to about page 87. My bookmark for this book is just a scrap of piece of paper. I wonder if there's anything inside of it. Nothing, except for, let me see if it, freecursors.com. All right, so I guess I just used a piece of scrap paper as a bookmark, which is very classic me. If you know anything about me, I will put anything in between the books and call it a bookmark. That's just how I roll. As long as it lays flat, it is a bookmark for me. So I don't know much about this. I don't even know 100% if I will read this, to be quite honest. I might actually donate it to my local library and or the little free libraries across town. So there we have it. These are all the books that I have accumulated from my parents' house. And now let's go on to the official haul of this video. Now let's talk about the books I got from the fall library book sale, and it is this big stack right here. We have about 6 books, 3 of which is part of a series. Now, the first book I picked up is actually Memoirs of a Geisha. I think Ellen at the Ellen Made Book Club also picked this one up, so I thought that was kind of funny that somehow you were on the same wavelength, miles apart. I picked this up in the fall book sale back in early September, and the reason for this is that I know this is a classic read. It's a historical novel depicting and following lives of a geisha. This is actually a novel, a fiction that has influenced from real life historical events. Now, geishas are very well known in Japan to be kind of like entertainers, but of course there's a much darker and deeper story to it with a lot of history behind it. So I'm really curious to see how Arthur Golden depicts geishas and the lives and the struggles that they go through. So this is definitely one of my literary picks that I am excited to read in the coming months. Now, the next book I picked up at the local library book sale was The Book Thief. This is actually one of Jesse's favorite books of all time, if I recall correctly, and I can see why. I did not read it, but I read about the synopsis and everything, and I have to say that I was ignorant about this book. I did not know what it was about originally, and I'm really excited to have known about this book, especially after reading Anne Frank's diary. I believe this is a historical fiction that depicts Nazi Germany, and we follow a main character who is stealing books that the Nazi have been burning, and her family is hiding a Jew from the Nazis themselves. So I don't know much. Like, I'm reading the back, and I don't know much about this book, but I can already tell that this is going to be a great read. Even more so now that I have read The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. So the next book I picked up at my local library book sale was 13 Reasons Why. I have read this book as a child as part of a book club, and I remember feeling so many sad emotions because it does have to do with a tragedy, and then you get this mystery aspect on top of it of a girl explaining the reasons why she did what she did, and I just want to remember and recall what I felt, what emotions and what thoughts I had as a child. I also know that there is a Netflix adaptation. At this point, it's been well over a decade, so I don't remember much about the plot itself, but I'm hoping to kind of kickstart that memory, see how I felt and what I thought about it at the time. I remember I devoured this book really quickly. I read through most of it in a couple of days. So if it made me that interested in the book and me enjoying that book that much, I want to see as an adult if I would enjoy it just as much. Now, the last set of books that I purchased from my local library is the Hunger Games series. Now, I have 1 and 3 in paperback and the 4th one in hardcover. Don't ask me why. I couldn't find the second one in soft paperback format. So when it's gonna be on my shelf, it's gonna look like this, and I'm gonna try really hard to ignore the fact that it's in a different format completely. Anyways, let's talk about the Hunger Games series. At this point, I think most people know the synopsis and the plot of it. There's a movie out, and I have watched all of the movies or know the big points and the big plot points of the movie, but I might be a decade late, but I still want to join the hype. I want to know what made these books so special in the 2010s. I want to go through the emotions that people went, why these books were comparable to Twilight at the time. Okay, maybe that's just me saying it's comparable to Twilight. I don't really recall 100%, but if book talk was a thing in the 2010s, Twilight and The Hunger Games would definitely be on the same pedestal, I want to say. So I just want to experience that for myself for the very first time through these books. I know that me knowing all the big plot points might ruin the reading experience on its own, but who knows? Maybe I'll still really enjoy the books, and if not, I might just give these away in the little free library or redonate it to the library for the library book sale for the next season. Now, my very last trip to go purchasing all these wonderful books was at a secondhand bookstore, and this is the collection that I purchased. Some of these names might be familiar to you all, so let's quickly go over them because at this point, I'm sure the video is already 20 minutes long with my rambling. The very first book that I picked up is The King of Pride. Do I need to say more? This was a 5 out of 5. I love Kai Young and Isabella, okay? This is probably at the moment my favorite book in the King of Sin series. So when I saw it at the secondhand bookstore, I had to nab it like ASAP. I want it on my collection and on my shelf, and I couldn't be more happy at the fact that I found it secondhand in a pretty pristine condition, if I do say so myself. The next book is actually the first book I saw at the secondhand bookstore, and it is A Touch of Darkness. I read this in my travel reading vlog when I was feeling the Greek god vibes, and this slapped so hard, all right? I absolutely loved this book. I love the depiction of the Greek gods. It's not a retelling per se, but it's a different variation and using the characters and the dynamics between them. So in this book, we follow a different interpretation of the Greek gods. Imagine if the Greek gods were still alive in today's world, and we're following Hades and Persephone and all the spice in it. Oh, it was spicy. It was really, really spicy, but it was so good. I did give it 4 stars because if I recall correctly, I was not happy about the ending. The ending just kind of fell flat for me. I really wish that the ending kind of stretched down into the second book, but because they wrapped everything up so quickly in the ending, I haven't had much of an inkling to continue on with the series yet. But you know, picking this up at the secondhand bookstore just reminded me how much I love Hades and Persephone. I love a dark, broody man that's morally gray, okay? So this was perfect. I was so happy to have been able to pick it up at the secondhand bookstore. Now, those 2 books were books that I have already read, and the next 2 books I'm going to talk about are books that are on my TBR, and I was interested in reading it. So when I saw it at the secondhand bookstore, I had to get it. And the very first one being Filthy Rich Vampires. I already said earlier in this video, I love Twilight, so Filthy Rich Vampire, sign me up. I believe this is a forbidden romance, marriage of convenience. Yeah, I think so, yeah. So this is not marriage of convenience. This is fake dating with a filthy rich vampire. Sign me up, okay? Sign me up so fast. I had this on my TBR for quite some time now, but I never got around to reading it, so I can't wait to see what this entails. I'm like really excited about this. Maybe I'll read this for this month since, you know, October got that spooky vibe season, you know? All right, let's move on to the next book that I picked up that is also officially on my TBR. So the next book is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. This is the book of the month edition. So I was, oh my god, I was like, I cannot believe I found this book. This is a book that has been on my TBR since, I want to say, summer, from Chris at Chronically D. She read this book and she really enjoyed it, and I think that's the reason why it's on my TBR. I don't remember 100% what she said because it's been so long, but I believe this book talks about a lot of identity, race, and how our past really shapes our identity. So I'm really excited to read this. This is definitely a literary pick, if I recall correctly. And again, cover beautiful, everything like beautiful. I got a discount. What more do I have to say? So the next book I picked up at the secondhand bookstore is In the Weeds. I have no inkling as to what this is, except that it's a steamy romance that has companion novels, and I believe it's by season. So we have the spring season, the fall season, the summer, and then the winter. This is the second book, and I do believe this is for the fall season. So it was just absolutely perfect. But the only real reason I picked it up up was because it was buy 4 get 1 free. So I was like, that clearly means I have to get this book, right? It was just the perfect timing, the place, the time, everything. Because it was a fall romance, and also I was going to get a free book anyways, this was my pick from the selection that they had, and I can't wait to read it. It just seems like it's a nice, steamy fall romance, just the kind of thing that I'm into. So this concludes all the books that I have hoarded in the past, I want to say August to September. Let me know down in the comment section if you read any of these books and what you thought about the books were, especially Chris and Jesse. I know that 2 of these books officially were per your recommendation. Or per your recommendation is a stretch. Per me, from me watching your YouTube videos. So definitely give me a little bit reminder and a little bit of like an inkling into your mindset about what you thought about the book, or at the very least what you rated it. And with that, I think this concludes my first ever haul video. So if you guys are interested in more bookish content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next week for my monthly wrap-up video. Bye!